And hello everybody, welcome back to British Stand. I hope you're all well. We do have some big news for you today from Epping. Well, yesterday essentially, but of course we will report on to it for now. Yesterday British Stand went with a story that of course broke yesterday, and that was lawyers acting on behalf of Yvette Cooper have said that the rights of illegal migrants are more important than the people of Epping, as they are, again, trying to, appeal the High Court ruling that the Bell Hotel should be shut down. We all know that the Bell Hotel should be shut down. That goes without saying, and a protest has suggested that. Everyone's pretty unanimous about it. However, the way that the lawyers, acting on behalf of the Home Office, acting on behalf of Yvette Cooper, acting on behalf of Keir Starmer, have said that it's not in the public interest of the British people, which is absolute bullcrap. It's absolute BS, and they are not reading the room whatsoever. They have said that the rights of illegal immigrants are more important than the people of Epping. Labour said the quiet bit out loud. It is utterly unacceptable statement that should immediately trigger a general election. I solemnly do stand by that. Now, again, I'm not a cheerleader for of course, for the Conservative Party, but they've of course reacted to this, and they, rightfully so, have quote tweeted this post here: right of asylum seekers trump the people of Epping, Home Office argues. And the Conservatives said they actually said it. Keir Starmer's Labour government thinks the rights of illegal immigrants are more important than the rights of local people. Elon Musk has even weighed in, which we're going to get to. As stated, following this story coming out, Elon Musk said, as goes for Epping, so goes all of England. Elon Musk, of course, watching on from far away and has seen what has happened. The people of Epping, they responded. They came out in their numbers again last night, following this talk and this extract that came from the court meeting. And actually, we're starting to see this from the local residents. Now that the Labour government have showed their true colours, showed their hand, they don't want to protect the individuals there. We got this. Epping parents have agreed to patrol the streets when the schools go back next week. If the government and police can't protect our children, they will have to do it ourselves, or we will have to do it ourselves. This is a huge statement. We've seen this, of course, happening in Scotland, in Dundee, almost vigilantes as such, coming together and going out their own way to patrol their own local areas. This is where we're going, because people are losing so much faith in the establishment, the police, and of course the government, especially when the Labour government come off such outlandish crap like they did yesterday in the court hearing. This is the scenes, of course, outside the Bell Hotel as after this court decision. Let's have a little watch of it together.
Send them back! 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 Get the protest here and now! Send them back! 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 Touch me! Protest area now! Protest area, boys! Protest area!
Out of an absolute desperation to keep 20,000 foreign invaders in these hotels, the undocumented friends of ours which actually go out to exploit the most vulnerable in our society, the Home Office have actually decided to challenge the court case by Essex Council to remove residents of the Bell Hotel, because these hotels still operate at a hotel license. They're not made for permanent occupancy. So the fact of the matter is, because we're still in the ECHR, the Labour Party is in with their rights to challenge this court case.
Send them back! 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 Send them back!
Hello, fella.
He's a Christian, yeah, I think.
Peculiar, isn't it? Into the car park! Get behind them fucking benches! Car park it is!
Occasion of British lads have decided to protest upon the Bell Hotel after the Home Office decided to appeal the court ruling, and of course the police had to come in full force and stopping them from entering the car park of the Bell Hotel. I just love local residents when they get together. It's an absolute privilege. The area here is the dedicated protest zone, and if protesters remain in the road, arrests will be made simply because they don't like the pressures by protests.
Yeah, no, I am. At 8:30 the protest is over.
Right, let's get behind and start chanting. I need you to do something for me in a minute, if you don't mind.
So that was the reaction, of course, after we heard what happened inside the courts. But don't get us wrong here. This showed Labour's true colours if we didn't already know that already. I think a lot of us knew what their agenda was all about. Otherwise, they would have stopped illegal immigration. They would have stopped the boats. They would have came up with ways, of course, of not putting them into hotels. So they said, as I said, they said the quiet bit out loud. You know, this is a massive response. This should trigger a general election on what they had said. It's not in the public interest, and that the rights of asylum seekers are bigger of those than the local people of Epping. Insanity, absolute insanity. And now, as we're seeing there from the local people of Epping, is that they're going to be taking matters into their own hands, and that they will start patrolling the streets to keep their people safe, because the police aren't doing stuff. But you can probably expect there's going to be mass amounts of protests erupt outside this hotel if this thing gets overturned. By the way, this was a High Court ruling. You know, everyone unanimous that this should be shut down. It was only Labour who wanted to appeal this. It was only Labour who went out their own way to appeal this decision from the High Court ruling. And I've said it time and time again, I do believe what we're going to see next after, of course, this is finished, after we've seen the things that happen with the hotels, eventually one day they are going to be put into a corner where they are going to try and get rid of these hotels. But the next stage will likely be HMOs. It will be HMOs. Individuals going into HMOs, sprinkle them about your local community, and then all of a sudden there is no congregation point for a protest because they will be in housing amongst us. Right now it's okay, whilst the hotel is a disaster in itself. I do think their next move could be even bigger, and they just want to shut up the people outside. They say, well, we've closed the hotels now, but they're not detaining and deporting these individuals, and they won't stop the boats. They'll just move them to HMOs instead, and then they'll be moved to in front of single mothers, veterans for housing, people who are British, born here, who need housing. They will put them in their way instead, which is also pretty disastrous. But guys, look at this quickly. This is, as I said, for those of you just tuning in, this is what the reaction of the people of Epping was all about yesterday. We've seen the video, of course, you've seen the scenes. However, as you can see, Epping parents have agreed to patrol the streets when the schools go back next week. If the government and police can't protect our children, we will do it ourselves. People are coming out their own way to make sure that their communities are safe. We're seeing vigilante groups as such, congregating together to make sure that people, especially children, are safe in their local communities. And we covered a similar situation that was happening in Dundee. And in fact, Ireland set the precedent. We've seen Irish patriots going out their own way and doing the exact same thing a few months ago. So could this be a sight we're going to be seeing going forward? Well, it's a huge possibility, and we're starting to see individuals, residents, start to take action in their respective communities. Guys, let's have a little look into the live chat. I'm interested to see what people are saying. The sleeping English lion is finally awaking. Protest outside individual police's homes. Well, that's very hard to do. Force the government to leave the ECHR. They don't want to leave the ECHR. As a man in his 30s, I dream of a head of hair like yours, mate. I'm 28, I'm approaching it. I'm 29 in October, so yeah. I'm quite lucky. I think the men in my family all have decent hairlines, so I should be okay. If not, then I'll be going out to Turkey. Gary says, you know the High Court will rule in favour of the Home Office, who will end up the Supreme Court as always. Jojo says, wait for the big Epping demo after the court. Well, we find out. Do we find out the verdict today? I believe it's Friday today. I think we find out the verdict, which could be massive. But I hope the people of Epping, I hope Britain wins against this tyrannical government. They're crazy. They do not have the best people's interest. And as stated, you know, everyone's calling it out. And again, I don't like to come on here and praise the Tories. I don't whatsoever. But look, they actually said it. Keir Starmer's Labour government thinks the rights of illegal immigrants are more important than the rights of local people. Close asylumhotels.com. They said it, not us. It's not speculation. They mean it. There is an England flag round table in my area in Liverpool. Why did we vote Labour in the first place? I didn't. I think that's you'll have to ask that to other people. I didn't vote Labour. I've never voted Labour. I would never, ever vote Labour in my life. Stephen Kingett says the Home Office needs to be investigated, stripped down to the core. Jojo says the thing is people are wanting to know where they will go, if not the Bell in Epping. Well, as I said, I have this weird feeling, because once they win this, right, if the people of Epping win this, and I'm going to sound like a broken record player because I've repeated this a few times, then they move to another hotel. But Epping would have already set the precedent that people will then see, well, it actually works, these protests. And then I do think their next move will be HMOs. Instead of dealing with the problem, they'll move them into HMOs. So then there is no congregation point of protest. Then they can kind of get away with it. It's harder to try and find something. It's harder to find individual homes and go, he lives here, blah, 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 and carry on protesting outside. Eric Stone says, if the court rules in favour of the government, then what legitimacy do they have? Their main duty is of the people of the country, not illegal immigrants. And they're doing this right now whilst recess is on within Parliament. So we're not seeing people question their decisions, nor are we seeing them come out and say certain things. We need to wait and, I don't even know when Parliament resumes. I think it's this week, is it, in September? But we need to find out what is going to happen. Because there's been a lot of crazy stuff that they've been up to. We've not even been able to hear the reaction from the Online Safety Act, people debating that. We've not even been able to see the protests. Paying countries to send us their worst. Gary says, I bet that hotel will go bust when it finally is emptied out. Bring on the boycott. But yeah, guys, do stay tuned. Subscribe if you haven't already. We will be live later for this court decision. And as always, guys, please do hit the like button, hit the subscribe button for more. We'll be back with plenty more content throughout the day. We've got a few live streams lined up, but also with regard to the results of what happens later. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you all next time.